Picture this. It's the dawn of Japan's warrior age, centuries before samurai ruled the land. A young prince, bold and battle-hungry, stands on the edge of a fiery ambush. Flames lick the sky, enemies close in, and in his hand, not just any sword, the sacred blade that's supposed to protect the entire empire. One wrong move, and he could lose it forever. This isn't a Hollywood script. This is the real story of Prince Yamato Takeru, the legendary hero who gambled with Japan's most priceless treasure. But here's the twist that will blow your mind. What if I told you that blade might not have been the original? That for over 2,000 years, Japan's emperors have guarded not just the holy originals, but secret replicas that hold just as much power. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Samurai Soul Verse, where we dive deep into the forgotten mysteries of history that still shape our world today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're about to embark on a 50-minute epic through ancient Japan, uncovering secrets that even most Japanese people don't fully know. Today, we're talking about the sacred replicas, the hidden backups of Japan's Imperial Regalia, those three mystical items that legitimize the world's oldest monarchy. We're not just reciting facts. We're telling a story of awe, risk, and unbreakable tradition. Buckle up, because by the end, you'll see why these replicas aren't just copies. They're the unsung heroes of an empire's survival. Let's set the scene. Imagine you're an emperor in ancient Japan, say, over 2,000 years ago. Your throne isn't secured by armies or gold. It's blessed by the gods themselves. The three sacred treasures: the Yada no Kagami, the mirror that reflects divine truth; the Kusanagi no Tsurugi, the grass-cutting sword born from a dragon's tail; and the Yasukani no Magatama, the curved jewel of benevolence. These aren't fancy jewels. They're symbols of your divine right to rule, passed down from the sun goddess Amaterasu herself. But what happens when one reckless prince, yeah, that Yamato guy, borrows the sword for a war campaign and nearly loses it in a blaze? Spoiler, he survives, thanks to the sword's magic, but the close call sends shockwaves through the imperial court. You see, Prince Yamato wasn't just fighting rebels. He was tempting fate with an object tied to Japan's very soul. Legends say he visited the Grand Shrine of Eyes, where his aunt, the High Priestess, handed him the Kusanagi. "Use it wisely," she probably whispered, and he did, swinging it to cut through flames and grass like butter. But the risk, enormous. If lost, the empire's legitimacy crumbles. So, why on earth would anyone let him take it? That's where our story really begins. Long before Yamato's daring quest, wiser ancestors had a backup plan: sacred replicas. These weren't cheap knockoffs. They were holy duplicates, crafted with the same reverence, designed to protect both the originals and the emperor's peace of mind. Can you imagine the weight of that? Sleeping under the same roof as god-like artifacts, feeling their awe-inspiring divine influence every night? It's like living with a nuclear reactor in your bedroom. Powerful, but terrifying. That's exactly what drove one early emperor to make a game-changing decision. And folks, that's the hook that's kept these replicas shrouded in mystery for millennia. Stick around as we unravel this tale, chapter by chapter, with twists that'll make you rethink what sacred really means. Transition, epic drum beat, B-roll, animated recreations of ancient Japan, flames, swords clashing. 5 Chapter 1. The Overawed Emperor. Sujin's Awakening 8 minutes, 1,200 words. Our story transports us back to a time when Japan was still called Yamato, a land of misty mountains, rice paddies, and Shinto spirits whispering in every tree. Enter Emperor Sujin, the 10th in the legendary line of rulers. Traditional tales peg his reign from 97 BC to 30 BC, though historians debate the exact dates. Think of it as ancient myth blending with early history. Sujin wasn't your typical conqueror. He was a thoughtful soul, deeply connected to the kami, the divine spirits. One fateful day, as the sun rose over his modest palace, Sujin felt a chill that had nothing to do with the autumn wind. He shared his living quarters with the three sacred treasures: the mirror from Amaterasu's cave trick, the sword that slayed the eight-headed serpent, and the jewel that symbolized harmony. But their power, overwhelming. I began to feel uneasy. The ancient chronicles say, dwelling on the same couch and under the same roof, beside the mirror sacred to Amaterasu Omikami and the grass-mowing divine sword, he was greatly overwhelmed by their awe-inspiring divine influence. Imagine that for a second. You're the emperor, but these objects make you feel small, like they're watching you, judging every decision. It's casual to us now, but back then, pure cosmic pressure. Sujin knew he couldn't just lock them away. They were the heartbeat of his sovereignty, the proof that his bloodline descended from the gods. Lose them, and pretenders could claim the throne. So, what does a wise ruler do? He orders them removed, not discarded, but relocated to a holy site in Kasanui village, Yamato province. A new shrine was built, pure and pristine, to house them safely away from daily life. But here's the genius move that kicks off our replica saga. Sujin wasn't about to leave himself unprotected. He commissioned exact copies of the mirror and sword. Oddly, the jewel isn't mentioned. Maybe it was less overwhelming or already safe. These replicas weren't slapped together by some apprentice. They were forged with rituals, prayers, and the finest materials. Bronze for the mirror, gleaming like the sun. Steel for the sword, etched with cloud patterns echoing the original's mythical origins. The texts tell us the new mirror and sword are the identical sacred emblems which the Imbi family offer to the emperor as the divine insignia at his enthronement ceremony. The Imbi, they were the ancient clan of shrine keepers, guardians of purity. These replicas protected the legitimate sovereign against hostile, evil powers. Think of them as spiritual bodyguards, not the real deal, but close enough to ward off curses or rivals. Sujin's decision wasn't just practical, it was revolutionary. By separating the originals, he preserved their mystique while keeping the empire's symbols close. And folks, this set a precedent that echoes through Japanese history. No more emperors tossing and turning under divine pressure. Instead, a system of sacred stand-ins that carried the same weight in rituals. As we dive deeper, you'll see how this simple act of safeguarding sanity sparked a chain of events filled with drama, disasters, and devotion. Fast forward a generation. Sujin's son, Emperor Suinen, ascends the throne around 29 BC. Traditional dates. Remember, history's foggy here. Suinen inherits not just the crown, but his father's reverence for the treasures. He's the 11th emperor, father to Emperor Keiko, and grandfather to our risky prince, Yamato. But Suinen takes protection to the next level. The originals, now in Kasanui, needed a forever home. Suinen decrees, find the perfect spot. He tasks his daughter, Princess Yamato Hime no Mikoto with the quest. For years, she wanders Japan, seeking a site where Amaterasu's spirit feels at peace. Legends say she carried the mirror herself, feeling its warmth guide her. Finally, she arrives at Ise, a coastal haven in Mai Prefecture, where forests meet the sea. In the 26th year of his reign, Suinen transfers the mirror and sword to the grand shrine of Ise. The Naiku, inner shrine, becomes the mirror's eternal abode, dedicated to Amaterasu. It's rebuilt every 20 years in the Shikinen Sengu ceremony. Fresh wood, no nails, symbolizing renewal. The sword. It eventually migrates to Atsuta Shrine in Nagoya, where it's said to rest today, wrapped in layers of silk. But what about the replicas? They stay with the emperor, becoming the practical regalia for daily life and ceremonies. No more hauling originals around. This split creates a dual system. Originals in remote shrines, untouchable and pure. Replicas in the palace, active guardians. Imagine the procession. Priests in white robes, carrying boxes on poles, chanting under cherry blossoms. The air thick with incense. The weight of history on every shoulder. Suinen's move wasn't just logistical. It cemented Ise as Japan's spiritual heart. Even today, millions visit, but no one sees the mirror. It's behind screens, unseen for centuries. This transfer ties back to Yamato. As Suinen's grandson, he borrows the sword, likely the original, per legend, for his campaigns. But with replicas in play, some whisper it was a copy. The ambiguity, that's the magic. It keeps the treasure's power alive, blurring lines between real and replica. As we move forward, you'll see how these copies evolved from backups to stars of their own rituals. But first, let's talk reverence, because treating replicas like originals, that's next-level devotion. For the first 800 years after Suinen's transfer, from roughly the 1st century AD to the late 9th century, the replicas were like family heirlooms, passed physically from emperor to emperor during enthronement. Picture the ceremony. The new ruler, kneeling in silk robes, receives the mirror replica, sword replica, and original jewel. They're laid beside him at night, symbols of unbroken lineage. But around the end of the 9th century, things shift. Japan enters the Heian period. Think elegant courts, poetry, and a touch of mysticism. The replica mirror gets upgraded, enshrined in the Naishi Decoro, the place of inner attendance within the imperial palace. No more moving it around. It stays put, a sacred anchor. Why the change? Practicality meets piety. The mirror, representing Amaterasu's gaze, was too holy to handle casually. Now, enthronement announcements happen there. The new emperor bows before it, declaring succession to the sun goddess. The sword replica and original jewel kept in the sword and jewel room, a secure chamber nearby. These practical regalia, yeah, that's what historians call them, weren't second class. They carried the same aura. In rituals, they protected against hostile evil powers, like spiritual shields. Casual aside, it's like having a backup phone that's just as good as your main one. Why risk the original? But reverence has a price. Over centuries, disasters strike. Japan, land of earthquakes and wooden buildings, is no stranger to fire. The chronicles record 20 instances where the replicas suffered. Take 960 AD. A palace fire singes the mirror replica. Priests rush in, saving it, but it's scarred. Then 1005. Another blaze destroys the Naishi Dekoro entirely. Miraculously, the mirror is rescued. Divine intervention? Believers say yes, but 1040 hits hard. Intense heat warps the mirror, leaving only a mutilated fragment. Here's the powerful part. No repairs. Ever. Why? Out of respect for Sujin, the creator. Fixing it would be profane, like altering a god's gift. So, it stays damaged. A testament to humility. Imagine that clarity. In a world obsessed with perfection, Japan chooses authenticity over polish. These events add layers to our story. Each fire, each quake, tests the empire's resolve. Yet the replicas endure, symbols of resilience. As we approach modern times, you'll see how this tradition lives on, unseen but unbreakable. Now, let's get real about the dangers. Japan's history is a saga of natural fury. Earthquakes toppling temples, typhoons flooding shrines, fires devouring wood. The replicas, housed in the palace, faced the brunt. Picture Kyoto in 960. Flames erupt from a lantern, spreading like wildfire. The Naishi Dekoro crackles. Guards shout. Priests chant. They pull the mirror out, but heat has kissed its surface. Slight damage, but a wake-up call. 1005. Worse, the sanctuary burns to ash. Chronicles say the mirror was rescued, but imagine the panic. Smoke choking the air, embers flying. Divine luck, or quick-thinking heroes. 1040. Catastrophic. The fire's inferno melts parts away. Only a portion survives. Twisted and scarred, emperors gaze upon it, reminded of impermanence. Earthquakes add terror. The Great Kanto of 1923 devastated Tokyo, but the regalia? Safely moved or protected. Details fuzzy, but they endure. World War II bombings? The palace survives. Treasures intact. Why no fixes? Reverence for origins. Sujin's creations are sacred as is. It's a lesson in acceptance. Flaws don't diminish power. They enhance it. Casual thought. Like a battle-scarred sword. The dents tell the story. These trials humanize the treasures. They're not invincible artifacts. They're survivors, mirroring Japan's spirit. From ancient blazes to modern quakes, the replicas stand guard. As our tale winds down, let's connect dots to now. The replicas remain in Tokyo's Imperial Palace, the mirror in Naishi Dekoro, others in secure rooms. During enthronements, like Emperor Naruhito's in 2019, they're presented but never unveiled. The emperor bows to boxes, feeling their presence. This secrecy, it's the ultimate power play. Unseen, they're eternal, seen and damaged, mortal. It's why no photos exist. Faith over proof, related casually. In a world of fakes and filters, Japan's replicas teach authenticity. They're backups that became equals, protecting sanity and sovereignty. Think broader. These treasures symbolize resilience. Japan rebuilt after disasters, just like the regalia endured. Today, amid quakes and change, they remind us, true power isn't flawless, it's enduring. Our story started with Yamato's risk, looped through Sujin and Suinen's wisdom, and ends with timeless devotion. The sacred replicas? Not just copies. They're the empire's hidden heart. We've journeyed through flames, shrines, and secrets. From Sujin's Anis to modern ceremonies, the replicas prove. Sometimes, the copy saves the original. If this ignited your curiosity, smash like, subscribe, and comment. What's your sacred replica? in life, a backup that became essential. Share below. Thanks for watching Samurai Soul Verse. Until next time, chase the mysteries. Sayonara.